Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Backfire Simsport TV. I'm Clyde Whiting, and tonight we are back in BSTV GT4 TCR Challenge action. Season 5, Round 7 from the fantastic Charlotte Roval. In the booth with me tonight, I have Mr. Yaz Not Yaz Samai. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Charlotte.
And on the Wheels of Steel, bringing you all your pictures, is Mr. Sam Boozin. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
Unfortunately, we've let Pete back in the driving seat tonight, so he'll be out there crashing on track. And we believe Stacey's having a rather long poo, so she won't be with us either. Yaz, Charlotte Road Course. One of those tracks for me that I am absolutely diabolically, unbelievably terrible at. However, I love watching racing round here. It's got everything. What do you think?
Well, one of the many that you're terrible at. Yeah, this track is one of those that you either love or you hate. Most people hate him. That inside section of the oval is just a difficult place to keep your car on the road and still go fast at the same time. But at the same time, if you get it right, it is one of those tracks that is just so rewarding. And then obviously we've got this oval section which is just full of speed. It's going to be fun. I know that the guys have been talking about the official races, and it's been all carnage and all action. So we are excited to see what happens here tonight.
Yeah, and obviously, the most famous part of this track is the sausage curbs. And the damage they can do to your car and how they can launch you into either another car or that outside wall. So these drivers, yes, they're going to have to be careful. You know, you need to take a little bit, don't you? But if you get greedy, that can really ruin your race.
Yeah, I know that those sausage curves. We've got two massive chicanes here that split up the oval. And those sausage curves are a lot higher than what it looks like on screen. If you take them too much, you're definitely going to get some wing damage, and you will see some cars fly up in the air. That's for sure. You'll see some two-wheel action tonight.
Most definitely. So we are currently just over 8 minutes into our 15-minute qualifying session. Last time out at Mosport, we had a win in GT4 for Chris Shaw. Jamie Wilson was second and Tyler Newitt was third. In TCR, Stephen Walker bagged another win with Sam Blees in second and Shane Powell in third. So your standings leading into this round, GT4, Chris Shaw currently leads the way with Simon Trendle second and Rob Venn in third. Stephen Walker leads TCR with Gary Craig second and Lee Bowden in third. And in the team standings, we have BSTV Esports Pink leading the way with Spectre 6 Purple in second and Team Chimera in third. Tactically round here, Yaz, for me, it's always been one of those races of survival. In that I know that if I manage to make the checkered flag, I'm going to get a decent result. But the quality of driver in these two fields tonight, to me, suggests that you're going to have to be a little bit more than lucky with accidents. You know, you're going to have to race on a track that can be hard to overtake. But also a track that you're constantly racing the track as well as other cars.
Yeah, I think it's one of those that first and foremost you're racing the track, and then also after that it comes, you know, sort of staying out of everybody else's way, because it is one of those where, you know, it's very tight and very close, very short. So if someone makes a mistake, you just gotta hope that you're not in the firing line. But I think everybody just needs to focus on their own race and just make sure that they can hit every apex and hit every corner like they need to. Stay out of the walls. Take just enough curb as you have to. Focus on your own race and the result will come.
Okay, so we're past the 2/3 mark in qualifying. Somebody somewhere has picked Charlotte up overnight and moved it to Germany because Stefan Goebel is currently sitting on provisional pole in GT4. Simon Trendle is second and Wobbly Kneecaps in third. Stephen Walker continues his impressive run in TCR. Currently in provisional pole with Gary Craig in second and Sam Blees in third. Yes, how important is pole position around this track?
Pole position around most tracks is really optimum. You want to be out front and get away from all the carnage that could happen behind you. So it's and here more than ever the first corner. I remember you had the name for it the last time. I forget.
Heartburn turn.
The heartburn turn. That's the one. I think it's because we've got Tums on that.
Yes.
On the advertising boards there. But yeah, it could be a heartbreak for a few in that first corner if the start doesn't go to plan. So definitely getting pole here and getting away from the field and out of the carnage that may follow. Definitely key. And we're looking at Stefan Goebel. We've seen him improve this season quite well in this league and the GTCC league in the amateur side there. He's been driving a lot better this season. It's still a case of him putting that race together, not just the one flyer qualifier lap. Just constructing that race and keeping calm through that hour. And he is due a win on the GT4s, long overdue with that improvement that he's showing. So let's hope he can keep it there and get away from the field, like we say, from Paul.
Yeah, and just a fun fact here, in TCR, the only person slower than Pete Bingham at the moment is Lee Bowden, who hasn't done a lap.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I need to say anything. I think it just speaks for itself.
On the chat there, Twice Tice. Now I do know who that is, and I can't bloody remember. I always think it's Tice Simons, but it's not. Has put Pete is driving. Oh God. At least he's out there, though. At least he's out there. That's the only thing I can really say. It's going to be a tricky one for Pete. I'm hoping he's using our usual tactic of staying out of trouble and just seeing where it gets him. What do you think on the racing? I'm going to ask you, Sam, just quickly. Is this a track where the cars are going to split up, or are we going to see our usual nose-to-tail train for quite a while?
Well, funnily enough, I've never driven on that track. The only reason I have it is because we broadcast some races. But looking at the shape of it, you've got the oval part, which is probably a draft part. So I guess we'll probably have two, as always, two groups of people. The front group in each class, and then the other ones. And there will probably be like two big group of 4 or 5 cars chasing each other. That's my guess. Until someone hit a curb too fast or something and smash into the wall and then provide carnage, but would be fun.
It is so easy to make a mistake, isn't it? That's you can be 20 seconds in the lead and I say just being a little bit too greedy, and it can be maybe not race ending, but it'll certainly damage your hopes of the win. Anybody you've got your eye on tonight, Yaz?
Without jinxing it, I'm liking what I'm seeing with Stefan Goebel on pole there. It looks like it's time up, so it looks like he's going to hold on to that post unless Wobbly Kneecap can put in a lap there. He's so well overdue for a win in the GT4s without needing to jinx him.
Okay. I always find that he's not qualified too well, but Chris Shaw tends to go well round here in GT4. I'm just not sure whether anybody can take it to Stephen Walker at the moment. He just seems to have it. I think the race is his to lose. Although, he has got a hell of a field behind him. Excuse me. So we'll just have to wait and see. So the checkers are out. We've only got 2 cars on track. Gary Craig on your screen now, and Mr. Brian Talker is still on track, although he's stopped. So just Gary.
Yeah, I think that the TCRs are always tight. Yes, Stephen Walker is quick, but last week we saw a brilliant race from Ryan Walker and Gary Craig. I think it was Matt Elmore that had a good battle together at really good pace. So a little bit of a slip or a mistake here and then, everybody's in this thing. Yeah. And looking at the times there between the GT4s and the TCRs, I think it's going to be quite, a lot of cars next to each other and close together, and I don't think the fields are going to be split up too far apart.
Yeah, and I think as a GT4 driver, if you do happen to make a mistake and get yourself buried in that TCR field, you're going to have to be so patient on the infield section and try and get it done on the oval.
No, for sure. I think you don't want to make any mistakes and fall into that TCR field, because it's just going to eat up the time in the race trying to get through them on this track.
Okay, so I can't get my grid to work as normal. So your GT4 grid is Stefan Goebel goes off on pole position for VTS Esports, and there's Simon Trendle in second for Team Chimera. Wobbly Kneecaps for BSTV Esports Pink in third. Chris Shaw for BSTV Esports Pink in fourth. Chris Needham, RWC Racing in fifth. Jamie Wilson, Team Chimera in sixth. Rob Venn, BSTV Esports Orange in seventh. Marco Lewert, VTS Esports in eighth. And Jason Haddington, RWC Racing 2 in ninth.
No Tyler Newitt tonight. Just noticed that.
Sex cult.
Mm-hmm. Well, in the TCRs, we got Stephen Walker up in first for Spectre 6 Purple, Gary Craig in second for BSTV Esport Green, Sam Blees, Alpine Stars Geodesic in third, Ryan Walker, BSTV Esport in fourth, Paul Hardy in fifth for Safeguard by Result, Shane Powell, Spectre 6 Purple, Matt Almore, Spectre 6 Silver, Russell Cowell for Spectre 6 Purple, David is in ninth for Result Clothing iRacing, Pete Bingham in 10th, and then Lee Bowden in 11th.
Yeah, as you can see by the start there, I don't know where Jason Haddington's going. Carl Hardy certainly doesn't like this start because the drivers have to stand in pit lane and run to the cars.
Yeah, it's a bit different to the usual start here. Because it's in America and they do things different around here. So this is usually how the NASCAR races start, where they all line up next to each other. And it looks like they're getting away now. So
I actually thought Pete was going to crash into Lee there. Matt on the chat is saying his top 3 in GT4 is going to be Goebel, Shaw, and then Wilson. Let's see if that little one comes true. I don't know what's going on with my thing tonight. I can't get anything working. It's really weird.
They're going to be doing a full lap around here behind the pace car.
That's all right. That'll give me a chance to reboot a couple of things.
We've got We've got Stefan Goebel leading the pack here tonight, and I'm sure he's going to hope for a really good start. He does have Wobbly Niekamp right behind him, who had a bit of a wobble last week in the last few minutes of the race. Cost him a podium there, himself and Simon Trendle. So let's hope he can get away well here this week and have a good one without any wobbles.
Yeah, I can't remember what happened to Stefan at Spa, but the drivers are currently trying to get into his head and tell him to forget about what happened at Spa. I think that was a nailed-on win for him, but he made a bit of a boo-boo. So, drivers currently coming round NASCAR turns 3 and 4. They will then be into the final chicane, and then we will be away.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see when Stefan decides to make the jump.
Yeah, he needs to nail it out of the chicane.
Yeah, you could either do that or slow it down completely.
He's gone already.
He's gone. He's taken a shot already. Yeah, looks like he's clear and he'll make it through to turn 1 without any worries. It looks like he's put a bit of a gap between himself and the rest of the field. And there we go. TCR.
That's Gary Craig and Sam Blease. What happened? Sam's going up the inside of the chicane. Yeah, there's not enough room there.
That was 2 and 3 going at it, and and that looks like quite a bit of damage on the front of that car of Gary. I didn't get a look at Sam's car.
Yeah, it's handling like a bag of proverbial.
He'll need to come in and take his fast repair now. There's no point in trying to save that car now. But that will throw his strategy out for the rest of the race. He'll need to rethink how he's going to approach this, and that means that Pete Bingham will have to figure out when he's going to pit himself.
Yeah, or he might just pit now with Gary, just because Gary is. But interesting, you know, the guys on the chat have been talking about how bad the starts have been in the officials, and maybe they didn't learn from it. I don't know.
Yeah, that chicane really does, because the start happens, a lot earlier in the lap for the TCRs. They start racing before that last chicane, and that's just, if you're going side by side through there, it's going to be mayhem. Trying to fight for that position.
Yeah, Gary Craig has entered the pits. Evening to James on the chat. So that has promoted Matt Elmore up to 3rd in TCR and Carl Hardy up to 2nd.
That's
nosebleed time.
Yeah, that is a nosebleed time for Carl. This season he's just not been able to put himself up there. We saw him make great improvements last season. This season he's fallen a little behind. What we got used to last season. But I mean, we do know that he can play with the big boys up front.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Carl, there are many, many, many food stands around Charlotte. Although they have no idea what a pie is.
Yeah, Carl did take part in the GTCC race this Sunday. I was convinced it's because of the KFC on the inside there. But around here there's a lot of pie stands and hot dog stands.
I did manage to catch a little bit of that race, and the bit that I was listening to, the commentary team were wondering who was driving your car.
Yeah, they seem to be wondering that every week. Doesn't seem to dawn on them that it's. I don't stay at the level of Pete Bingham. I am making some improvements. So I've been having fun.
Well, Pete Bingham is currently racing with Lee Bowden.
Yeah, it's still close together. The packs are close together. You know, like Sam predicted, the few bunches here and there keeping together. The front pack have sort of pulled away. It looks like the front pack's only 2 cars, and then we've got a bit of a bit of a draft train following on there in the TCRs, and likewise in the GT4s, a couple of packs of 2 and 3.
Yeah, I think the accident at the start obviously split up the TCR field a little bit, but there can be a massive amount of tow round here, especially on the oval sections.
I know for sure you're definitely going to benefit from being close behind another car, and it will cost you just that little bit if you fall behind a little bit, and there's a gap between you and the car ahead. That gap could open up the longer you go. Ooh, that was very close.
That was very close, wasn't it?
That's
I
Jamie
actually
Wilson.
shut my eyes then.
Yeah, there's Jamie Wilson right on the back of Wobbly. Stefan Goebel's going well here. He's got about just under half a second gap between himself and Simon Trendle. These guys also, we mustn't forget, in the draft, they are going to benefit from the, you know, from saving some fuel, maybe going a little bit longer.
Most definitely, yeah.
But you know, we do have it's only one stop in these races in any case. But you know, with just saving a bit more fuel, it just gives you a little bit more options of how long you can go. Simon's right on the back of Stefan now. That's just that draft effect that pulls you back in there. And let's see if Stefan can pull away in this. What's going to happen here? Is he going to make a move? Ooh, that was so close.
Little love tap there, I think.
Yeah, a love tap around there is going to send you into the wall. So it's well watched by Simon. He's dropped back a little bit now again. And let's see. I think this is going to have a concertina throughout the race. Chris Shaw has now gotten into this action.
This is Rob Vernon, Chris Needham. We switch to teammates. That's Shane Powell, who is chasing Matt Elmore and being chased by Russell Cowell.
Yeah, we saw Ryan Walker put in a really good race last week for a top 5 finish. And hopefully he can carry on this week and get another good result. Yeah, Rob Venner's gotten through Chris Needham now. He's going to want to try and close that gap to Jamie Wilson. He will require them to be battling a little bit ahead for him to close that gap. 3 seconds around here is quite a big one. Especially again, like we say, he doesn't have anybody in front of him to help him in that draft with that draft.
We see Lee Bowden there successfully make the pass on Pete Bingham, and James says it's his sister's birthday tomorrow, so happy birthday for tomorrow for James's sister.
That's such a cool shot there, where you see the 2 cars going almost facing off against each other with a hole in between.
Yeah,
the 2 cars in opposite directions.
They come so close to that wall, don't they, as well, on the outside, going onto that oval section.
Yeah, those curves, you'll see the cars jumping, bouncing up into the air.
Sure, as the race goes on and the tyres wear out, there'll be some missing right-hand side wing mirrors.
Stefan Goebel's again got that. Stefan Goebel's already got that one ex-girlfriend hanging on the side there of his car.
Yeah. That's the wrong side, though. I don't know where he's done that.
Yeah, we've gotten used to seeing that wing mirror hanging off the side of his car. It's it's almost every week now when he's got that mirror hanging on.
The GT4 battle is bunching up quite nicely now.
Yeah, this is a nice pack, a nice race turning out here. You know, with this oval section and a little bit of this inner section being as quick as it is, I have a feeling we're going to see the GT4s take some tires in this race. It's definitely going to benefit. It's going to benefit you in the second half of this race to have some fresher right-hand side tires for sure with this oval.
Yeah, and in that GT4 battle there, we've got 4 BMWs chasing down a Porsche. Since Chris Shaw switched out of the McLaren into the BMW.
Yeah, it's been said many times that the BMW just has a lot more power on the straights, and there we go.
Here it is. There's the change for the lead.
Yeah, as I was saying, the BMW has more. It's always been said that it has more power in the straights. I keep saying that it all comes down to the driver behind the wheel. These cars are very evenly matched when it comes down to a full lap. And it really does come to. We've seen wins by the BMW, we've seen wins by the Porsche. So it just comes down to the driver on the night.
Yeah, and I just had a quick look then at Stephen Walker in TCR, and he is actually managing to pull away from Carl Hardy now. Doesn't look like much, but it's slowly eking out. But the pair of them have got a good lead over third place Matt Elmore.
Yeah, it's Carl just needs to focus on hitting his apexes and getting his exits. Focusing on his exits out of the corners here, and just worry about his own race. Now that he's in some clean air, all on his own, he doesn't need to worry about chasing another car or someone on his back. So just focus on his own race, and he can secure his own podium here. Looks like Stefan Goebel's moving backwards now.
Yeah, that's 4th place, soon to be 5th, I believe.
Yeah, not sure what's happened there. Ooh, I don't know if there was a touch there in that one, but I don't know what's happened with Stefan there, that he's dropped back.
Has he picked up some minor handling issue with however he broke that wing mirror? Car does look clean, but
we're just watching him through that in section there. The lines that he was taking through there were very different to the other BMW. So I don't know if he's nursing something there or what.
Or does he just want to save some fuel? Nearly lift off there for Jamie Wilson.
He's going to have to, if he is wanting to save some food, he's really going to have to stay on the back of Jamie Wilson there for quite some time. These TCRs are looking feisty. This is Ryan
Walker, yeah.
He's going to make a move down the chicane. That's going to need some... Yeah, that really does need 2 cars to play that game to make it through there.
Yeah, you've either got to be pinpoint accurate or one of them has got to back out, and I think Ryan backed out there. So Stefan's last lap was a 1:26. Which is That's Pete Bingham territory.
Oh, we got wide there.
David Ayres is in the pits after a crash by the looks of it.
Yeah, Stefan Goebel's last lap was the one where all 4 cars passed him, so it would have taken me a little bit longer to get round. So I don't know what entirely happened. Oh, sorry, I don't know if there's something going on. We'll have to watch his lap times to see if there's any improvement, or if he did have an issue, or what's happened. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, the right-hand wing mirror was wobbling. It's already damaged there, isn't it? Right, let's do it the old-fashioned way. There you go. There it was. Just where we suspected.
Yeah, once you got liftoff over one of those chicanes, you know the steering wheel just doesn't work anymore when you go straight on into that wall.
So yeah, Stefan Goebel back on track that last lap with a 1:23.55.
Yeah, I think it was just a case of letting all the. I don't know if it was letting all those cars pass or what, but yeah, 5 cars passing you is definitely going to give you a slower lap.
Oh, that was a nudge on the wall.
That looked tight, close.
Yep, there's another broken wing mirror. So this is the battle for third place. TCR drivers on their chat are currently trying to get into the head of Stephen Walker as Sam Blees comes into the pits.
These pit stops are very early, so I'm assuming they are to do some damage repairs.
Yeah, I'm not sure how far the TCR will go around here. They obviously got the fuel boost, didn't they? So
they
could be possible.
Could be possible, yeah. But it does. This is really on the margin here of. I don't think that's plan A for Sam, please.
So passed there by Ryan Walker. Going past Russell Cowell.
Yeah, that was a little battle that has been going on for a little while there. And you see Ryan now making that pass finally.
Jamie Wilson and Stefan Goebel have dropped off of this leading pack in GT4.
Yeah, Stefan Goebel's also dropping back. He's not as close behind Jamie Wilson at the moment as well. He's lapping. His lap times are up there. Not very. He's no slouch. He's just falling behind a little bit there.
Simon Trendle is the hunted. Chris Shaw and Wobbly Kneecaps are the hunters. Simon will be willing his teammate Jamie Wilson to try and get back up into this battle to try and relieve some pressure. I think they're coming up on Sam Belize there, that he's just come out of the pits.
Yeah, this catching the TCRs in the right place around this track is going to be important. Like you say, we see the lead pack coming up to Sam Belize now. You know, if Simon Trindle can get through Sam Belize quickly and have the car between him and Chris Shaw through the middle section, it's really going to benefit him for the rest of the lap, because it's very difficult for that GT4 to pass through the in section. He didn't get through there now, so he'll probably have to follow him around all the way to the, you know, it's going to be a brave move, and it's going to take Sam Belize to move out of the way for them to be able to make that pass.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think it'll happen till the oval section.
Yeah.
Oh, he's put his nose out.
Yeah. Ooh, two of them going for it.
Yeah, I think Sam was very compliant there, wasn't he?
Yeah. You'll need him to be very compliant there to get through, and now you've got the car between. It's not too bad that Wobbly picks him up on the oval. He should be able to make the pass before the. Well, he's moved out of the way, so that's fine. Before that chicane comes up.
That's good driving by Sam. David Ayres is back out on track. Yeah, lost a little bit there, Wobbly, didn't he? But not too much. He'll soon get that back.
The TCRs are quite spread now at the moment. There's a little battle for 13. What's it? 12, 13. Sorry, there's a little battle between Shane Powell, Matt Elmore, Brian Walker, and Russell Cowell, the four cars together there. But then the rest are quite spread out.
Yeah, Stephen Walker is steadily pulling away from Carl Hardy, who in turn is steadily pulling away from Shane Powell. But we have pit stops. We know what pit stops can do to races.
Yeah,
you can crash, you can miss your box, you can speed in pit lane. There's all sorts of things can go wrong.
Yeah, the ovals, you know, all these oval road courses, the pit entries are very fast. You're coming in there at high speed, and you really need to slow that car down.
Yeah, Gary Craig is in the pit, so I'm guessing that's his scheduled stop.
Yeah, this is his second stop. Obviously, he had that incident in the first lap, so yeah, it's possibly just for some fuel this time. Yeah, he's on his way again. Got some action going on here in the TCRs. Matt Elmore making the move on Ryan Walker. Yeah, this is a fun little battle. You know, we talk about this every week, about finding your own little battle in the race. You know, to kind of have some fun. And here we see it these two swapping positions back and forth. Just to you don't have to be up front and needing to win the race to be enjoying yourself and having a battle. And these two look like they are, really having fun there.
Yeah, these drivers will tell you that it's not always about winning. Winning's nice, but it's about having that battle, having an enjoyable race, rather than just running around on your own for an hour.
Yeah, it's the guys who win these races are really quick. Don't take that away from them. They are, some of them are just on another level, and not everyone can be up there. So even the guys at the back, they're learning all the time. They're getting quicker. They're getting faster. But it helps and keeps you, sort of keeps you hooked and keeps you entertained to be able to find that battle somewhere in the race. And week after week, you're sort of just finding someone that you're racing with that you're wanting to beat. And it looks like that's what's happening there with Matt Elmo and Ryan Walker. I mean, it started last week and they're continuing this week.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you, and I think that is the plus side of this league. And if anybody's watching and they're thinking about driving in it, but they think they're not quick enough, yes, there are some absolutely phenomenal drivers in this league. However, every single one of them will give you as much help as they possibly can. Carl Hardy and the Result team, they host numerous sessions where a lot of the drivers turn up, and again, they will help you out. So, don't look at it and think, I'd love to have a go, but I'm just not quick enough. Get in, get learning, and move yourself through the grid. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, and if ever you think you're not quick enough, remember Pete Bingham drives in this league, so
exactly.
You should be fine.
If nothing else, you will beat Pete every week.
Yeah,
if you don't, we'll disqualify him, so you do.
I did catch a lot of the broadcast on Sunday night, and he did give me a raw time, so I think it's his turn this week. This on Wednesday, it's just a bit of back and forth.
This front battle, just as we see Matt Elmore out of third place into the pits in TCR. I was just going to say the battle up the front there, Chris Shaw pitting as well out of second place in GT4. That battle was fairly steady. Nobody seemed to be taking any risks or trying anything untoward. So perhaps the BSTV Pink guys were just saving a bit of fuel.
I think we know. I mean, we've seen Chris Shaw race now for a few seasons, and we know he is someone who knows how to chase another car down without causing any issues. I don't think I've ever seen him in any kind of incident or any accident, whether on the receiving end or the giving end. I've never seen him in any incidents at all. So, he could have been chasing Simon Trilder at high speed without any trouble, and just biding his time. We'll see how it pans out now with the pit stops. And there's a gap between Simon Trindle and, we saw that gap open up between Wobbly and the front two when the TCR sort of got in the middle of things. And we hope to see that pull back together again, and the race can go on in the second half after the pit stops.
Yeah, agree what you're saying about Chris Shaw there. Even if there was only two cars on the track, I would hope it was Chris Shaw and Jamie Wilson door to door, because they would go the whole race without swapping any paint.
Yep.
So coming up on the halfway mark. Stephen Walker has got a commanding lead over Carl Hardy in TCR. And Simon Trendle has got a healthy lead over Wobbly Kneecaps in GT4.
You spoke about Chris Shaw changing cars. If memory serves me, it looks like Rob Venn has also changed cars. He's changed back to the BMW. He was driving the Porsche for a while, wasn't he, this season?
I never know with Rob. He changes his car more than I do my underpants. Oh, here we go. We've got another storm going on outside. So if I disappear, apologies. We all know what happened last time.
We've got Carl Hardy now in the pits.
It's Simon Trendle and Wobbly Kneecaps has followed him in.
It was quite a big gap. Carl had quite a big gap between himself and third place. So it will be interesting to see how it turns out when he comes out. I'm sure he'll still hold on to that second place when all the pit stops play out.
Yeah, interesting to see what happens with these top three in GT4.
I see some popping up onto the jacks there, so we're looking at tyre changes in the GT4.
Before the pit stop, it was Trendle, Shaw, Kneecaps.
Yeah. So Trendle has managed to put in a really good stop there and put a big gap between himself and it's quite a big gap that's come out there between Trendle and Shaw. And
I think the Shaw and Kneecaps gap is about the same, but you're right there with Simon Trendle. I'm just trying to look at his pit time. Yeah, according to my screen, he was a lot slower than Chris Shaw, but
yeah, we did. I think that Chris Shaw was out.
Oh, Carl Hardy's had a disconnect.
No, not again.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so unfortunate.
Yeah, just see that pop up. That is out of second place as well. I know he'd pitted, but he was pretty much nailed on for second there. Rob Venn in the pits now.
Yeah, that was a sure second place there, and that's so unfortunate for Carl.
Well, perhaps he's going to have to stop buying pies and invest in some better internets. Or move to South Africa where everything seems nice and stable.
I was about to say, it looks like you guys need to invest in moving to South Africa.
Yeah, don't let the riots put you off, and the looting and everything else.
At least we have a stable internet.
And the murders.
So how does it look here? Yeah, I think that Chris Shaw may have encountered some TCR traffic in that time when after he came out from his pit stop and Simon went in.
Yeah, you could be right there, mate.
That being said, he seems to be closing that gap up on Simon Trendle now.
Well, Hardy hasn't reconnected yet, so I think he's probably sticking needles in his eyeballs.
That's so unfortunate for Carl. He was really on a good one there. We'll have to wait and hear what actually happened.
So you got a monsoon going on outside my window at the moment. Jason Haddington is in the pits.
Oh, multi-21 year.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Pete Bingham just moving out the way and not even putting up a fight.
Normally he just crashes out of the way without putting up a fight, so that's an improvement. Jamie Wilson and Stefan Goebel follow each other into the pits. Chris Needham stays out. He's going to lead a lap.
Again, I don't think this isn't the first time he's been leading this season, so good on him. A couple of laps led for the season is always good on the stats. Stefan Goebel seems to be stationary for a very long time there.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening there. Oh, he's finally off.
Probably, maybe, possibly took 4 tyres as opposed to 2 from everybody else.
That's a possibility. Also, he may have had his fast repair unchecked and had that car repaired.
Yeah, there is that, yeah.
Not quite sure. We won't quite know, but that was a very long stop. And it's really put him way behind the pack now.
Chris Shaw has closed that gap in a hurry. Chris Needham pits.
Who's this? Are they coming up past now?
Is... Can he see the number? Number 6. That is Matt Elmore.
Yeah, once again, Wobbly's the one who's losing out here in the traffic, just dropping back a little bit.
I've just had a message from Carl who says, "I hate Suffolk internet. No issues for a while, and boom."
Ugh. Move to South Africa, mate. It's the only thing I can advise you.
I'm wondering if it's anything to do with this storm that's going on, because I think Carl's only about 10 miles or less down the road from me. So I know I got caught with it last time out. One big boom and everything was gone.
Yeah, so it looks like I've jinxed Stefan Goebel. He's dropped back completely now, and quite a distance behind. I mean, he's in 7th place with quite a gap between himself and 6th. Never mind the rest of the field. So I'm not entirely sure what happened there. Firstly, in that first little instant where he dropped 4 places in one lap in a couple of corners. And then now again in the pit stop that was just so much longer than everybody else. I think it was about 15 seconds longer. And it's just dropped him out of contention completely.
Yeah, we'll obviously, if he comes in for an interview, we'll have to ask him about that. James on the chat is just confirming that they do have this storm going on. So that may not have helped Carl. Ryan Walker in the pits.
Oh, Chris Shaw's all over the back of Simon Trindle now. Oh, coming out of that chicane can be so tricky and scary when you see that wall just come up closer and closer to you, and you need to get the car turned out of that trajectory towards that wall. And still try and keep up the speed.
Yeah, that is a big problem, isn't it? It's one of them that you've got to be so precise, because if you think you're going to hit the wall, your natural tendency is to hit the brake and then you lose all your steering, and you definitely hit the wall.
Yeah, and it's one of those corners that you want to go through as fast as possible, because you're going to go onto that straight, curved straight, the oval section, where you need to just be you're flat out and needing to go as fast as possible. If you don't get it right, you're just a sitting duck for the car behind you who has got it right. So you really want to carry as much speed as possible through there. This is looking nice and spicy.
I mean, Powell looks like he's got a puncture. No,
there's that wall we're talking about, but it looks like he's had some wheel damage before he got there. Something must have happened before.
Could you possibly play that again, Sam? Because I want to see if his wing mirror was intact before he hit the curb.
No, it was off already.
No, it was already off. That's all right.
Yeah, just if you just look at the way the car steers there, it just looks like there's already some wheel damage that was pulling him towards that wall.
Oh, this might be what he's showing now. That was a little nudge there from Ryan Walker.
Another one into the wall there. It's exactly the wall we were talking about.
So it's game on in GT4. 20 minutes to go.
Yeah, less than a second between these top three. It's going to be about race management now for this last 20 minutes for these three. They are all three are super quick. All three are super competitive, and all three have won races, so they all know what to do up front. It's just a matter of who can survive these last 20 minutes and put themselves up front.
Yeah, and you've obviously in there you've got Chris Shaw, championship leader, who is in second place as he busily gets the standings up. Simon Trendle, who is leading, is currently in second place in the championship, and Wobbly Kneecaps, who is running third, is in fourth place in the championship.
Yeah, and Wobbly could have been higher up had he not been as wobbly a few times. Last week we saw him and Simon Trindle going for a win, and just had a little bit of a coming together, which cost him quite a big chunk of points there. So he definitely could have had some more points had he been able to keep the wobbles down. So that being said, the pace of these three are very strong, very fast. Yeah, just showing his nose there on the inside before the chicane, trying to put Simon Trendle off, but I think Simon knows exactly what he's doing, and will take a lot more than just a move and a shake to put him off his game.
Now, bear in mind the number one driver rule at BSTV Esports, that if you take your teammate out, it's punishable by death. What does Wobbly do here? If he's got aspirations on the championship, he needs to take points off of Chris Shaw and Simon Trendle. Or does he play the dutiful teammate?
I think
bag the big points for the team.
Yeah, I think that the difficulty here is that all three of them are superbly on pace with each other. It's not a case of being much faster than the other, or that the pass is going to be easy. So it's going to take some kind of mistake or some kind of wobble from the other two for him to be able to get into the action here. And we see the front two battle now. Yes, of course we can't rule out the traffic playing the TCR traffic and playing a role. But it will take a mistake from the other two drivers for him to get past there. Their lap times are really just looking at their best lap times, and you're looking at a 10th between the three of them, which is nothing around here. So it's it is really you're talking about team orders. I'm sure if Chris Shaw makes a little bit of a slip, he's going to take full advantage of that. But I don't think he's going to be pushing around the back and trying to fake him into making that mistake. Not as much as Chris Shaw is going to have to do with Simon Trendle.
Yeah, and we've seen in the past, Yaz, that Simon Trendle is difficult to pass at the best of times, isn't he? He knows exactly where to place the car to give sometimes a smidgen of encouragement to the car behind, but that gets closed straight away.
Yeah, and yeah, you must, like I mentioned in previous comments I made, it's even if you can make that car as wide as possible, if you're on pace with whoever is chasing you, you just need to stick to your lines. You just need to do what you need to do, and run your own race with somewhat not even looking in your mirrors to see where they are, because if you're only lapping a 10th or half a 10th difference between the two of you, they're not going to get past you. That being said, around here there is a massive toe that can give the car behind you an advantage, but they are for short bursts. The oval's not as big as Daytona's oval, where you've got this long run and massive momentum that you can pick up. But like I say, their lap times are almost equivalent, and it's going to take more than just he doesn't really have to make it as wide as it might be at some other tracks to defend. Just drive. He just needs to look in front of him and just keep driving at the pace that he is driving at the moment.
I think we may have had a crash somewhere along the line for Jason Haddington in the only McLaren on track, and Stephen Walker has finally pitted his TCR from first place. Well, just a big chunk of curb by the looks of it. Was enough to unsettle that McLaren.
Where is that? Or is that just that section coming onto the infield, just going up the hill there? Yeah. This is one of those.
There.
Yeah, it's just one of those corners. If you just take, you just take it a little bit too fast, and you get spooked, and you try to kick the brakes a little bit too hard, and then it just spins around on you.
So we got a message on the chat from Austin Walters that said we got a good race going on, and Sir Alan Toon, who was renamed Wobbly to Knobbly, says Simon, Chris and Knobbly are making some of these tricky sections look easy. Right on the best line and fiendishly quick. Couldn't agree more. Oh, we've got just under 13 minutes to go. We've concentrated on this battle for a while, but it is closest battle on track, and it's for the podium in GT4. So Simon Trendle leads Chris Shaw, who leads Wobbly Kneecaps. In TCR, Stephen Walker's currently leading the way by a long way. Ryan Walker has got himself up to second, and Russell Cowell currently sits in third.
Yeah, Ryan Walker sneaked his way into a podium position there. I don't entirely know what happened. I think he was running fourth or fifth at one stage. But well done to him on that. Being in second place by quite a margin at that. Not as big as the margin that Stephen Walker has on the rest of the TCR field. He's just run away with it completely. But yeah, those TCRs are quite spread out at this stage. We were hoping to see them much closer together, but it looks like they've sort of all found themselves in a little bit of space. And
I think Ryan, just looking at the pit laps, probably just ran longer than a lot of the cars around him, and his pit stop was nearly a second quicker because of it. So that obviously helped. But he was also, he's not bad behind the wheel either, so we can't take that away from him.
Yeah, in this league, if you're running in the podium positions, you definitely need to know what you're doing behind the wheel. Like you say, he's not bad behind the wheel, so good going by him to be in that position now. This battle up front here is not going away anytime soon, and it's just going to be if Simon Trindle can hold his nerve for this last 10 minutes. And then the win should be his, but we've seen things happen in the last 5 minutes. Last week it looked like they were running away at the front, and then the last 5 minutes proved that anything can happen. So it's about keeping your nerve now and just surviving that hour.
Yeah, they are coming up on the TCR leader. Although I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. I expect Stephen will probably just pull to one side and let him go. He's got such a lead in his class. And then they've got quite a way until they get to Pete Bingham. So I'm sure, and right on cue, there we go. There's Stephen pulling out the way. Sure, these guys are hoping they don't catch unpredictable Bingham.
Yeah, it's still it's a long way to beat Bingham. I don't know, Sam, have you missed any spins or anything? Surely seems I don't remember us seeing Pete at all, except when he moved out of the way for Craig. Is there really nothing that's happened with him? Gee whiz, having a good race. But then again, if you're going that slowly, it's you don't expect anybody to spin out at that speed.
So it is hard to spin at that speed, isn't it?
But we have seen him spin at that speed, but I mean, it is hard to spin at that speed.
So when we get to this stage of the race, as I was saying about, what does wobbly kneecaps do? Let's throw that open with Chris Shaw as well. Does he need to win? Does he just need to keep bagging the big points to take this championship home? We've already seen him be a winner in TCR class. He knows how to collect a good points haul. He's not going to put it all on the line, is he, just for this win?
Yeah, I think looking at the way that Chris races, he's very calculated. So he's not going to throw one up the inside or try and make a pass where there isn't one. He'll bide his time and wait for a mistake. If there isn't a mistake, he's one of those guys, fair play, to whoever's in front of him. If the person in front of him has driven a great race, he'll give it to them as such. He's not one to try and put them off. And like you say, second place it might not be a win, but it's a big bag of points for him. Keeps him at the front of the table, top of the table. So yeah, like you say, it's very calculated. His races are always very calculated in the way he approaches things. So yeah, like your original question, is he going to do anything? He'll just bide his time, and if Simon makes a mistake, he'll take advantage of that. But I don't see him trying to put the wheel up the inside or put his car in a place that it shouldn't be.
No, I was just going to exclaim a miracle in the fact that Pete Bingham overtook Shane Powell, but Shane Powell's had a disconnect. So it wasn't an overtake.
Yeah, I think it's if he does overtake anybody, I think there's probably just a big storm in that person's area and it's shut down the internet. That's basically it. Earthquake or something of the sort.
Act of God.
Yeah, Chris Shaw is doing what he needs to do now. Just keeping the pressure up on Simon Trindle, staying as close as possible, so that like I say, it's easy for us to say, just concentrate on what's in front of you, not look in the mirrors. But it's there's no driver who can actually do that. Simon was just trying to get as much slipstream fit he could.
Wasn't he? Yeah.
Doesn't look like it worked so well, but again we've got the chicane that just sort of splits up this section. Simon just needs to make sure he gets a good exit here. He was not on the optimum line going into that, but it looks like it worked out for him.
Yeah, these guys have dropped wobbly a bit, haven't they?
Ooh, it looks like Chris is now all over Simon. Yeah, and this is that pressure that we talk about. Simon's just gonna have to soak it up here and just keep going forward and not looking backwards here. That's all that it's gonna. Like I said, it's easier said than done. But he's got 5 minutes to do it.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether Simon feels the pressure. He just drives, doesn't he? We're not seeing him defend, or he's just taking his lines and basically saying to Chris, look, I'm not going to make a mistake. I'm sticking to my line. If you want this win, you're going to have to try and find a place to go around me.
Yeah, that's it. That's the good approach to take here, and it looks like that's what he's doing. And there isn't a place around him here unless he makes that mistake, and Chris knows that. And we can see this playing out exactly like you're saying there.
Yeah, we said that at the start. It's not an easy track to overtake on without a mistake from a car in front. I think the top three are fairly set. It's just what order are they going to be in when they get the checkered flag. Same in TCR. I don't think anything's going to change there without a disaster. And Mr. Barbecue Bill Switzer has joined us in the booth. Evening, Bill.
Or has he?
Well, perhaps he pressed the wrong button. He is old. We'll let him off.
Yeah, what do we have here? I think we've got about 2 laps after this one, possibly.
Yeah, let's have a look where they are. Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And Simon has now got the biggest gap he's had in the last 15 minutes between himself and Chris Shaw, which is a welcome will be a welcome relief for him. That being said, it's still less than half a second. But he's got 2 laps to get through here. Just make sure that he doesn't put a foot wrong. Chris Shaw has 2 laps to try and force him to put a foot wrong. At this point, he's just a little bit far behind, but that can all come back in a corner. But for now, Simon looks comfortable.
Bingham is in the distance. think once Simon Trendle gets a view of Pete's car, he's going to be going through his head thinking, I hope that's Gary Craig and not Pete Bingham.
Yeah, I think they're going to come up to the white flag now, and it's going to be a now or never moment for Chris Shaw. It's going to come. He's really going to have to nail the exit of the chicane to have a chance for. Or it looks like he's just pulled right up, back behind him again there. They might avoid Pete Bingham. He's just a little bit distant there. Let's see what happens. I'm sure he can keep out of their way if they do get close. It's going to be on the oval part of the track. But Chris Shaw is running out of corners now to get this pass. And it doesn't look like Simon's letting up at all. He just doesn't make a mistake or put a foot wrong. And that's what's going to get you the win at the end of the day.
Yeah, he's certainly a machine.
One more chicane to get through now, with Pete Bingham in the distance. I think they're going to avoid running into Pete on track here. Yeah, and that's it. He's got through clean. What a chase by Chris Shaw. What a lead by Simon Trendle. I'm sure he'll be happy with that win after what happened last week. He was so close yet so far. But what a fabulous race up front with that top three.
Yeah, Stephen Walker we're watching now, coming home for a convincing win in TCR, over 30 seconds ahead of second place Ryan Walker.
Yeah, where's Ryan now? Only coming through that first chicane.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jamie Wilson came home in fourth in the GT4s with Rob Venn in fifth, Chris Needham in sixth, Stefan Goebel jinxed him, has come home in seventh. Ryan Walker, well done on that second place, second step of the podium finish there for Ryan.
Yeah, Russell Cowell should come home in third.
Yeah. Now we see Matt Elmore coming in. And a good recovery drive from Gary Craig to finish in fifth in the TCR. That's still a good number of points for fifth place, considering what happened to him up front.
Okay, and that is everybody who is still running has now finished.
A good race there. It's unfortunate Carl Hardy wasn't able to finish that race due to some issues. He was running well in second place in the TCRs there. But if we're looking at the results now in the GT4 field, we've got Simon Trendle with an amazing win. A really good drive for Team Chimera. Chris Shaw chased him down for the better part of about 50 minutes and couldn't get past. A good second place for Chris Shaw. Weber Niekamp in third place for BSTV Esport Pink as well. And then Jamie Wilson a way back in fourth place, quite a way back in fourth place for Team Chimera. Rob Venn in fifth for BSTV Esport Orange. In fifth, Chris Needham in sixth for RWC Racing. Stefan Goebel dropped down from his pole position into seventh. He had some kind of incident there, and we don't know entirely what happened. Mark Lewert in eighth for VTS Esport, and Jason Harrington riding up the GT4s in ninth for RWC Racing 2.
Okay, so into the TCR field, and a convincing win for Stephen Walker from the Spectre 6 Purple team. Second, Ryan Walker for BSTV Esports Blue. Third, Russell Cowell for Spectre 6 Purple. Fourth was Matt Elmore for Spectre 6 Silver. Then we had the two BSTV Esport Green drivers with Gary Craig 5th and Pete Bingham in 6th. David Ayres for Result Clothing iRacing team in 7th. Shane Powell for Spectre 6 Silver in 8th. Sam Blees for Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing in 9th. Carl Hardy Safeguard by Result in 10th. And Lee Bowden rounding out the field in 11th for Sim Racing Channel. So let's get up the Discord. And we've got nobody waiting at the moment. So let's talk about Simon Trendle. Absolutely fantastic race from him, Yaz. Looked like he was in control and under control from lights to flag.
Yeah, he had that one in the bag there. He just showed his class and pace. 60 minutes without making a mistake. That's just that's immense talent, immense speed, immense everything. To have Chris Shaw less than half a second behind you for that long and not making a mistake, you definitely deserve the win after doing that, for sure. It's a fabulous race by Simon Trendle.
And the same in TCR for Stephen Walker. We know what a talent he is, but you've still got to put the car on the track and do that from lights to flag. So again, another machine.
Yeah, what can we say about him? I mean, that's a massive win. That's a massive gap to second place. It could have been even bigger. We saw him move out of the way to make way for those GT4s. He just easily pulled out of the way because of the gap that he had. I guess there were some incidents that up front with who was it that Gary Craig came together with. That sort of gave him a little bit of a gap there. And then also, he wasn't that close, but Carl Hardy had the disconnect. It wouldn't have stopped him from the win, I don't think. At this point in time, he just looks a class above the rest.
He certainly does, doesn't he? And he's just joined the interview room. So let's start off with the TCRs tonight. And our convincing race winner, Stephen Walker. Welcome to the booth.
Hello there.
Hello. So what's the secret, mate? You made that look very, very, very easy in a class field.
All I did was qualify first, and then they all hit each other and disconnected. I just got lucky. If they hadn't have crashed in the first corner, I mean, was it Gary and Sam?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't realise until a couple of laps later, and then Carl was behind me, and then I couldn't really drop him. But eventually, I think when the tyres started to go, I managed to pull a little bit of a gap. But again, it was just because I think they hit each other. Like, our pace was really similar through practice, and So again, I keep saying it, but I just got lucky.
And I heard at the start of the race, I think Carl was goading you about, can you just get the fastest lap and then do what you normally do? Care to elaborate on that?
So the weekend we attempted the Spa 24-hour, and I got in for my stint, and because I could only do a stint from about 7:30 till I was going to do 6 stints in a row. And as just before I started my 4th one, I decided to go grass tracking. I was just braking for the last corner at Spa, the chicane, and the rear left wheel caught. It must have been a millimetre on the grass, and it just spun the car around. We had over an hour's worth of repairs, so I put us 25 laps down. We were doing quite well as well. So
it's always a millimetre with the driver, isn't it?
Basically, yes.
It happens, mate. It happens to the best of us. Fantastic race from yourself. Very commanding win. The results will show that. and you keep putting these wins down to luck. Your luck's going to run out at some point, isn't it?
Yeah, it has to. There's no way that everyone else keeps making mistakes. It's got to be my turn. Like, if you remember, this was my second race when I joined in the end of last season, and I qualified second. And then on the first few laps, I was all over the place and dropped down to fourth. So that was then. So it's happening again. I can guarantee it. I'll make a stupid mistake at some point. I'm just trying to get away with it for as long as I possibly can.
Well, in the nicest possible way, we look forward to your mistake.
No, I understand. Don't worry.
Any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, the rest of the team are really strong this week. They were on pace even before a few people had their incidents, and obviously we had ours as well. Shane disconnected, I think, and Russ came on the podium, so that might be his first podium, I think. So that's
I think it is. Yes.
Yeah. And just my brother for watching and supporting me, and you guys for the broadcast and all the sponsors. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Well, congratulations again on a commanding win, and we'll see you next time out.
Yep. See you later. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Okay, Yaz, we've got a special treat for you tonight for your interview. We have GT4 winner and the man machine, Simon Trendle. Welcome to the booth.
Oh,
Well done, Simon. A fabulous win. Having Chris Shaw on your tail for that long, that close. You really did show your mettle there. How did you feel that race went for you?
the fact I didn't bin it or clip any walls means it went really well. But Chris definitely has the BMW driver tailgating down to a T. Because I wish he wasn't quite that much in my mirror.
Yeah, he was right up there. There was never more than half a second between you and him. He chased you down for the better part of that race, but you managed to soak up that pressure for all of that time without putting a foot wrong or putting a tire in the wrong place. What were you focused on? We always say, just look in front of you, not in your mirrors. I don't think that's completely possible. But what were you focused on to just keep going and without making a mistake?
Yeah, just make the smallest mistakes possible. I made a few, but they were never big enough for him to get a decent run on me. Lots of places where you can just too much curb into the wall, and that would just be it. And especially in practice, I've done it a few times, and the suspension breaks quite easily. So mainly, I was focused on not hitting anything.
Well, you didn't. You managed to not eat anything, and you got away with a victory this week. You were close last week, and was that playing in the back of your mind as well? That at any point something can happen.
You mean wobbly could happen? That's what happened last time.
Yeah, well, that was 5 minutes before the end of the race. So I always talk about this hour-long race, and anything can happen in that time. This time you were just focused on just not making your own mistakes.
There was no point trying to push the car and trying to find time or pull away because I'd get to the oval and then the draft would pull them back. So it was a case of just make this car as wide as possible, make the apex, make the exit, and then just hope that that's enough. And thankfully it was.
Yeah, it definitely was this week. It was once again a great race by you. You really did show your muscle and your class there this evening. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to, thank you to this week?
Yeah, shout out to Jamie, obviously, for being there, although not for helping me that much because he lost the draft and left me with 2 BSTV pink car to fight. So maybe next time he can help me out by taking one of them off.
Teammates, you all need them.
Well done. Need them.
Well done again, Simon. Great win, and hopefully we can see some more come in the next few races in the season. And you battling it out and taking some more victories. Well done.
Hopefully there's some good tracks coming up, so looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well done again.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay, so carrying on with the theme, let's bring in our second place TCR driver, Ryan Walker. Welcome to the booth.
Hey, Clyde.
Hello. Now, forgive me for this. It's going to sound horrible, but it's not meant to. On I didn't see that second place coming for you.
Yeah, neither did I, to be honest. I'm still a bit shocked, but yeah, everyone else was having incidents, and I just kind of went in with the plan of just kind of do my own thing. If people have issues in front of me, just pick up places when I can, and yeah, it worked out in the end and managed to finish second.
Yeah, I think the first time I looked down and saw you was probably when you went past, I think it was Shane Powell. And at that time, Stephen Walker had a decent lead over Carl Hardy, who had a decent lead over Matt Elmore, I think it was. And you was a little bit behind that. And then obviously you went long on for your first stop, and then all of a sudden you're in second place. And I'm looking, and I thought, well, yeah, I know Carl had a disconnect, but how the hell did he get there?
Yeah, I think it was just down to the pit stops, just having a good pit entry, a good pit stop, and a good pit exit, and I think that helped. But also Carl having issues helped as well, which was unfortunate because it's not the way I wanted the podium finish. But also, yeah, I have to apologise to Sam Blees as well because I ended up nudging him in the backstretch chicane by accident. He just slowed up more than expected, but that was totally my fault, and I've already apologised to him. But he's been good enough to be a good sportsman about it, and he just said it's one of those things.
Yeah, and again, you know, we always say it. We've already said it before. You know, that is that's what this league is all about. We don't get the bitterness and the infighting in this league. But just back to you. You've certainly hit the ground running since you've joined the league.
Yeah, it's took me some time to get used to this TCR car. I mean, I've done some like offline laps with it in the past, but I've never done any of the official or league races with it. And yeah, I'm actually really enjoying it, and it's actually teaching me some stuff that I can use in other cars, like car control and being smooth on throttle inputs and steering inputs. So it's a fun car, and I'm enjoying it.
Excellent. Well, that's always good to hear. Any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
First off, you guys for putting on the broadcast, and looking forward to watching it back. And thanks to the BSTV esports team for helping me out get to grips with this car. And thanks for the help again this week. I appreciate it, and yeah, enjoying being part of the team as always.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on your promotion at work, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
Oh, I'll be there for sure. Don't you worry.
Excellent. Ryan Walker, congratulations. Second place, TCR.
Thanks very much.
Okay, next up for you, Yaz, is Wobbly Better Than Pete Kneecaps. Third place in GT4.
Wobbly, a third place finish there this evening. It was a three-way battle at the front there. You did find yourself in the third place for a long time in that race. What was it like? How would you describe that race?
Sweaty.
No, he said the race, not you in general.
Okay, also sweaty. No, but yeah, it was really tough racing. I mean, I tried to save some fuel, and that's why I let Chris by on the overall. I thought that he wasn't saving, at least I hoped. And I was hoping for him just to stick it to Simon, but then Simon stuck it to Stefan, and well, I just tried to save fuel the first stint, and after the second stint, it was just me making a mistake, coming back up to the back end of Chris. Then I fell back, and then Chris made a mistake, and then Simon made a mistake. Then they started battling, and well, I had a good few, but I couldn't join the party.
And yeah, I think last week you had a bit of a wobble. Was that playing in the back of your mind when you were chasing them down?
No, because last week, if Simon wouldn't have been past me, because well, if I was driving on my own on the straight, it would be fine. So you have these wobbles all the time, and it is just a really punishing track. So you always drive at 90%. I just try to avoid the walls, and I think I hit one wall at the last lap because I was just going for it. actually broke my suspension, so I think that the 90% part was pretty good just to stay on that.
Okay. And you know, we spoke about Simon being able to soak up that pressure. Were you trying to put some pressure on Chris Shaw? We spoke about it in the booth here, wondering what it is that you do. You know, being in the same team, do you try and put Chris Shaw off, or do you just sort of follow each other around to the finish? What was going through your mind at the time?
Yeah, well, I was hoping for Chris and Simon just to do a Simon wobbly, so they just come together and I could pick up the pieces. I did try to push Chris a bit to in the corners, which I knew I was faster, but then just pulled away on the other corners, and it was really hard to just stay close to him because I think that Simon also said this to you guys. Somehow Chris managed to stay within 0.2 or 0.3 seconds, and I don't know how he does it, but I don't. that trick is not in my not one of my talents. So what I do is just I try to brake a little bit later, and just to hope that he thinks that I'm just launching it in. But then again, it's still a teammate of mine, so I'm not taking that many risks towards him.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Well, it's a good third place finish, incident free through that one, and a good third place finish at the end of the day. Is there any shout outs or thank yous you want to give this week?
Yeah, well, I just want to give a shout out as usual, guys. Again, I always rewatch the broadcast. Special shout out to Chris because I started flashing him to make clear that he had to pass Stefan, and he did. So I was happy about that. And to the other guys in the Discord, and a shout out to Ryan, Brian, Tucker, Walker, and to the other TCRs who just let us pass while we were in a fight. I mean, they don't have to do that, and they were super about that.
Yep. Well, another good podium. Well done, Weber. We look forward to seeing you next week again.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers, man.
Okay, so last but not least, we have our third place TCR driver. That must sound very good to him. Russell Cowell, welcome to the booth.
Cheers. I think I took a wrong turn. I was aiming for the toilet, but I ended up here.
You must be happy with that, mate. I know other people had problems, but you still have to be in the right place at the right time to take advantage of it.
I think that's what it was, basically. Other people had a few issues, and I just carried on going, hoping that I'd benefit from it, and I did.
Did you, before the race, be honest, where did you expect to finish?
I'd like to top 5 around here, because it's one of my stronger tracks in the car. When I saw people's lap times in practice and in the qualifying, I thought I ain't got a chance to get top 5. So I was pretty much happy to be anywhere other than like towards the back, basically.
Okay, and just interesting there, you say this is one of your stronger tracks. Is it this track in general, or do you prefer the tighter technical tracks to the longer ones?
It's the tighter technical wall-to-wall type tracks that I like. This Long Beach, Chicago. I just like being dead close to the wall, cutting it a bit fine most of the time, or rubbing the wall and thinking, have I damaged the car, have I not?
So possibly not looking forward to Road America next week?
I actually like Road America. It's one of the few open road tracks that I like, so hopefully with a bit of practice I can do well around there.
Okay.
But while I've walked pushing behind telling me to get faster.
Now, you know, confidence is everything in sport in general and motor racing. What does this do to your confidence? You know, are you will you be able to build on this, or?
I'm hoping so. Yeah, I'm hoping to, because obviously it's like you say, it's a good confidence boost if you get in the top 3 and then get a podium. I still won't take the fact away that I was pretty lucky with some of it, but I'll take the luck where I can, and hopefully I can benefit from the confidence next week and push for the same again and get a podium.
Yeah, you know, the drivers that could have finished ahead of you, you know, Gary Craig, Sam Blease, they had a crash. Looked a bit 50-50 to me, but you didn't crash. Carl Hardy, he's tight and he has cheap internet, and it dumped him, whereas yours didn't. So all the things are going in your favour.
Yeah. Other than, I think, given the time, if Shane had a bit of an issue with the wall towards the end of the towards his pit, I believe he lost a tyre, and then obviously had a disconnect, which didn't help. But if he didn't have the disconnect, I think me and Shane would have been racing towards the end of the race, definitely. He just got really unlucky with his disconnect.
Well, you take the luck while it's there, fella.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's not all luck. I always say that to the drivers. Stephen Walker keeps telling me he's lucky, but take it from both hands while it's there.
Yeah, exactly.
And use it for next week. Any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, just want to shout out to you guys, obviously, for putting this on. It's a brilliant place. I'm glad I joined to race now. Obviously, it's my first season, so it's really fun. Shout out to my teammates, Wook, for obviously being an alien of the group and pushing us constantly, shouting at us, telling us off when we're doing things wrong. It's like a head teacher. Unluckily to Shane, obviously, for his disconnect. And all the guys here, they're all really friendly, happy to help us around, and obviously Carl hosting the sessions and stuff really helps out a lot.
Excellent. Well, glad to hear you're enjoying it. Congratulations on your first podium, and let's hope for many more.
Yep. Cheers, guys. See you later.
See you next week. Okay, guys. Well, that is the interviews over. Now, I did the last interview, so that's give you two plenty of time to think about your driver of the evening. So we've not heard from him from a while, so just to make sure he's still awake, Sam, who is your driver of the evening?
Stephen Walker. I mean, what a lead. Nothing else to say.
I can't argue with that, mate. Can't argue at all. Apart from he's a winner, and you shouldn't pick winners. Yaz, your driver of the evening.
Yeah, I know. We usually on the same page with not picking a winner, but I can't look away from Simon Trindle and the amount of pressure that he soaked up through that hour. So Simon Trindle for me, going against the grain of not choosing a winner for the race driver of the day. I'm going to choose a winner today. That was a brilliant race by Simon Trindle.
Okay, well, unlike Yaz, I'm not a turncoat. I have morals and I stick to them. So I'm not going for Simon Trindle, although he had an absolutely fantastic under pressure race. I'm not going for Stephen Walker, even though he had a fantastic with no pressure race. I'm going to give it to Mr. Russell Cowell for his first ever podium, and I really, really, really hope that boosts his confidence and he can start getting up that pointy end of the grid more often. So Russell Cowell for me. Just having a quick look at the totals. At the moment, Simon Trindle leads the way on 3. And then we've got a clutch of drivers on 2 votes, including Rob Venn, Gary Craig, Pete Bingham for some unknown reason. I think that was when Stacey had too much wine. Stephen Walker and Lee Bowden. So I don't know about you guys. I thoroughly enjoyed that race. That GT4 battle was fantastic, and as we've all said, Stephen Walker's drive was fantastic. Yaz, quick summary of that race for us.
A quicker summary that I can give is, like you said, fantastic race. Well done to the guys for keeping it as clean as they could up front there. Brilliant race all around.
And Sam, from the cameras, usually quite a crashy track, isn't it? But not tonight.
Nah, we've got probably the best drivers on iRacing in this league, so wasn't expecting so much drama. even though the track is pretty complicated. It was a great race, a bit less battle than I was expecting in TCRs. I don't know what happened. Probably the crash at the start, breaks things down, and then yeah, nothing much to see about the battle from the Spectre 6 guys, the 4-1. But yeah, apart from that, battle for first was great in GT4.
Yeah, and just to put a disclaimer on Sam's comment there, this league probably has the best drivers in iRacing. I need to add to the end of that, apart from Pete.
Yeah. I mean,
just for legal reasons, obviously.
I mean,
I did think about it, but I just let it slide for a little bit. I'm sure one of you would have picked it up.
I think that just makes sense, Who would pick Pete as a good driver about Pete itself?
Yeah, right. So, coming up next week, and next week we're actually, our next broadcast is in August. Where is this year going? So we are back in ITCR action on Sunday with rounds 10, 11 and 12 from the magnificent My Local Snetterton circuit. 3 20-minute sprint races. We've seen how good they are so far. And then this time next week, we're back in GT4 TCR action with round 8 from Road America. So it's now time for us to close the broadcast. So don't forget to drop this video a like. If you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook. Make sure you never miss the action again. Also, make sure in these weird and wonderful times, as we are coming out of lockdown and getting our freedoms back, make sure you stay sensible. It's for everybody's benefit. I shall say goodnight, let the guys say goodnight, and then we will close the broadcast and catch you again on Sunday. So good night, everybody. Thanks for watching and stay safe.
Good night, everybody. See you next week.
And good night, everybody.